everybody. As you know, my name is Casey Grimm. I'm your neighbor. Gathered you all here today to learn about my farm tractor, proper maintenance, and how it helps to keep it lasting longer and save you money in the long haul. So we're going to start by going under the hood here. Okay. Now, first thing here is the air filter. The importance of the air filter is that it makes sure your engine is not taking in dirty air. If the engine were to take in dirty air, that would cause major problems. So the importance of the air filter is to keep that dirt out, and the air filter is cleanable. So it says here to clean the element every 100 hours, and the manufacturer has come up with that number for a reason. So it's always best to follow the directions that you're given. You simply unhook a couple hooks and clean it. You can put it in a bucket of water and clean it out that way, or you can just suck it out with like a vacuum or something. Just make sure you can get as much dirt out as possible. Second thing here is going to be the battery. There's fluid in the battery which causes it to charge, and there's markers on the battery that indicate when it's full and when it's low. So just like on the dipstick on the oil, as we'll get to in a minute, you want to keep it within range. So you always want to check that, and if it is low, you can either buy battery acid and add to it, or you can simply add distilled water to get it to the appropriate level. The radiator screen is also something that is very useful. By having a radiator screen, it's easily removable, and the dirt that collects can simply be brushed off. Older tractors did not have this radiator screen, so the dirt would stick directly to the radiator, causing problems, and it would be much harder to clean. Okay. Now if we come over here to the side, let me grab a rag. The oil is probably the most basic concept and the most important one to make sure you're practicing properly. So we're going to check the oil. First you want to pull the dipstick out and clean it. Then you're going to reinsert it into the hole and then check it. See, there's a marker here. It says F, which means full, and then down here there's another one. So we're in between the operating range, so we're fine. And if this were a gasoline engine, you would not want your oil to be that dark. But however, it's a diesel engine, so they typically run darker, so this isn't quite ready to be replaced yet. Now we've checked those four things, we are ready to move on to another step. Tire pressure is not necessarily a key part, but it does help to ensure traction. Typically on the sidewall of your tire, even on your cars and such, it'll give you a typical and a recommended tire pressure setting. So you always want to be in accordance with those, but also in your manual, they'll give you tire sizes and the specific tire pressures for those sizes. So clean it off here, might be able to read it, but it's not that important. You simply, the lower the tire pressure, the more traction and grip you'll have in the dirt. The higher the traction, the more sliding you're going to do, just because the tire's harder and able to absorb less. So that's the basic concept of those. Next we're going to go to the hydraulic and transmission fluid levels. On this tractor, it's all one reservoir, so it all feeds off of one fluid. There's a little window here, a little glass window that shows you your fluid level, so it's pretty basic and simple to read. If the fluid is within that window, then you're fine. If it falls out of the window, then you need to add. And in order to add, there's a little cap here. Just twist the cap off and put a funnel in, and you add it to the appropriate level until it comes up into the window. There's also a fuel filter, which filters out dirt particles and any water condensation that might occur in your fuel tank. If you have a car or a mower or any type of engine, gasoline or diesel, it is best to fill the tank, like during winter time when you're not going to use it, by filling the fuel tank. The tank is full of liquid or gas or diesel, and there's less air, and by there being less air, there's less room for condensation, which means less water forms, leading to less problems. Alright, let's go to the grease fittings. What I have here is just a simple grease gun used for multiple things. Pretty simple. You just crank this back and the grease comes out. So let's go to one of the grease fittings. Get you one that's easy to see here. The camera could come up here real quick. This is a grease fitting. It's just a simple nipple type device, and this is the tip of your grease gun. You simply press this on there until it clicks, and then you pump the arm, and when you push down, the grease is forced into the grease fitting and lubricates the metal and reduces friction and wear. And as soon as you see the grease start to come around the edges, come here. As soon as you see the grease start to come around the edges, you know you're fine. You know it's properly lubricated. And then just clean off your grease gun and clean off that nipple there. And there's grease fittings all over the tractor. Pretty much every possible movement part. There's one down here for the four-wheel drive mechanism. There's multiple ones throughout the loader. There's even grease fittings on your throttle lever, your brake lever, your clutch, your throttle cable lever, your four-wheel drive. There's probably 25 or 30 grease fittings on this tractor. So that's pretty much it. Cleanliness is also another important factor. It's not necessarily keeping it spotless, but keeping the excess mud off prevents the formation of rust, which extends the life of your product and also so it makes it look better. That's pretty much it. I would like to thank you all for coming today. I hope you leave here gaining a little bit of knowledge, or at least having a refresher. And as Nikon Cameras always says, you're only as good as your equipment.